Hi guys. Hi Grumpy. Hi Armin. Good to see you. How are you guys doing today? Um, there are a couple of updates I have personally from the YouTube, and also today is a weird news day because it's not necessarily very packed with news, and I will explain to you why. I think there are additional security measures being taken on all front in view of recent events. Hi, I'm a lucky wife. And also, it's like the news that did come out today, they're just outright disturbing on so many different fronts. I'm sure that a lot of you have heard of them already. Hi, Lauren. Hi, Prexis. Hi, Diane. Hi, Taz. Hi, Netlin. Hi, Veronica. Oh, Lauren, you're on both. Hi, Oksana. Привіт, привіт. Hi, Gap. Good to see you. Then let me see. Hi, Joe. Hi, Mariana. Oh my gosh, Sky, your username is like killing me. um, hi, Scooter. See, you guys can't even go past me now on TikTok because if you have that like little blue label, then it shows me when you get into the live. It's like, oh, this person just showed up. So you can't even quietly join without me knowing. Oops. Hi, Jillian. Hi, Carolyn. How is everyone doing today? So I have a couple of updates today that first 1K on me. I have a couple of updates today that are concerning just YouTube and some other things. Hi Oliveiro, hi Sherry, hi Vladimir Putin. Yeah, so there are a couple of funny news. There are a couple of outright disturbing news. There are a couple of updates that I have, but I'm going to wait for a couple more people to show up on YouTube. And in the meanwhile, for everybody who's on TikTok who might be new, hi, my name is Yulia. I was born and raised in Lviv, Ukraine, which is a city in Western Ukraine. And I moved to New York at age 16 for school, and I have been living here ever since. My family, my whole immediate family, mother, father, aunt, every single person lives in Lviv today. I'm the only one in the United States, and on this channel every day we do news updates for the past 24 hours about about Ukraine and coming out of Ukraine. We analyze them, we break them down, we give them context historically, geopolitically, and culturally, and otherwise. And this stream is currently on simultaneously on 4 different platforms. It's TikTok, Twitch, YouTube, and for now still Twitter, but I keep saying for now because I don't know how much longer I can tolerate it. But there are still people on Twitter that do want information, and as long as they're there, I will be there. But at the same time, Twitter has not really been my favorite platform recently because, well, there is just so much misinformation. There's so many trolls. Elon Musk took down all of the guidelines. He's allowing Russian state media to be on Twitter and stuff like that. It's just, it's just ridiculous at this point. It's worse than Parler used to be. And for know what Parler is, Parler was an alt-right, like Trump-looking social media network where they basically organized the January 6th insurrection. So yay! But yeah, so there is that. And also, if you are interested in finding me on any of the above mentioned social medias, my handle is the same across the board. So if you just look up the same handle as you see on whichever social media you're at, and if you want to change to Twitter, YouTube, TikTok, or Twitch, it's going to be the same thing. Hi, Darlene. Good to see you. Also, hi, Jacob from the Caribbean. Nice to meet you. And thank you so much, Lauren. Thank you. So let's start with some personal updates. One, tomorrow I will. So I told you a couple of weeks or maybe a month ago that my aunt Anastasia, so she makes these collectible dolls, and she made this one doll that basically is The doll looks, she painted the makeup on the doll and the face on the doll, and she made the clothes, and the doll basically looks like your typical Ukrainian, like Ukrainian girl in Ukrainian traditional clothes. So she wants to auction that doll, and she wants to, with that auction, raise money for her university where she works. She works at the Lviv Academy of Art, and obviously a lot of students have suffered budget cuts and have suffered like from the war, from unemployment and from things like that. And so she is trying to raise the money to help like buy supplies and stuff like that for those students that she teaches, simultaneously with the fact that she's currently on an exchange program in Wales teaching there too. So she's doing two jobs on two different time zones. And so the goal is to raise $500 with that doll. And so what I was thinking is maybe we could do a raffle the way that we did it before, and Anastasia will randomly select someone who at the end of the day will receive that doll, and she's in Wales and she can send it to you literally the next day. So yes, so this is something that we are planning on doing, and I think we're going to do that tomorrow. I will give you the details a little earlier in the day. I will also try to post a video about it so more people know about it, but here is the plan, because I think one of the things that a lot of people neglect during this time is the education, and especially the arts education, because nobody thinks about it. But there are so many students that are suffering through this war as well, and so she was thinking how she can help them, and this is her way of doing so. So that is that. And the next update is YouTube has granted me channel memberships. Woohoo! So that is up. And now there are cine emojis available. It does say, I did try to add many more emojis, or like, I don't know, emoticons. I don't know what they're called. Basically, I tried to add ye and I tried to add other things, but unfortunately, you can only add 4 until you have like some members, and then they give you 2 more slots. So the next 2 I will add if somebody decides to become a member of this channel is I will add the ye emoji, and I will add Slava Ukraini, and I will design some more YouTube particular emojis so they don't repeat across different channels. But basically, it's the same thing as on TikTok. We have the channel subscription, and you can use like the little specific to the channel emojis and stuff like that. Same is happening on YouTube now. So there is the update with that. And then there was something else that I had from personal updates, and I absolutely forgot what it was. Wow. Oh, so I'm a little later today because honestly, today I've just been feeling so crappy. I've just been feeling so incredibly crappy. I don't know. I mean, Vasil is sick, has been sick for a while now, but he's feeling better. I definitely took it over from him, but I normally have a pretty strong immune system. Knock on wood, like your good Ukrainian girl I am. How can you not follow the superstitions you don't even believe in, but you've done them your whole life, so you have to. But just so you know, in Ukraine, the whole like knock on wood thing is super popular. We have a lot of different like randomly weird superstitions that I personally follow. And I don't even believe in them. And half of them, I don't even know what they mean, but I've done them since I was a kid. So I just keep doing them. Like, if somebody steps on my foot, I will step back on theirs. Or if I step on someone's foot, I expect them to step back on mine. And I've taught that to absolutely every single person. And it's funny because I find that now if I step on John's foot, he will be like actively looking to step back on my foot. And people are like, what is happening? But it's contagious. So yeah, so basically I think I took over Vasil's, whatever Vasil has. And John definitely did too. He feels like utter crap today, and hopefully he's gonna feel better. I sent him some medication and stuff, so let's see. But Eric Wine Nelson, hi, hola amiga, hola. That's all I know how to say in Spanish. So I'm sorry. Well, I also know how to say no hablo español, but I do speak Italian if that helps. Hi, nice to meet you. Yeah, hi Grumpy, hi again, hi Crazy Cat. So John is feeling like He's feeling okay-ish. He's not feeling nearly as crappy as he felt yesterday. He's also one of those people who's like, yeah, no, I don't need medicine. I'm just gonna, get in the shower and stand in the hot shower for 2 hours, and I'm gonna magically be cured. So, well, maybe he will be. I don't know. Miracles happen, I guess. But so he's taking care of himself. He's fine. He is working for the next couple of days, so hopefully he's not gonna get too sick. And yeah, I'm okay. I mean, I'm fine. I'm doing decent. I think I'm the least sick out of the three of us. So I think, so far I'm doing pretty okay. Hi, Elena. Elena, hi. Nice to meet you. What's the latest on Parlor? I don't know. I've never been on Parlor. I just know that it was a cesspool of terrorism, basically. And now Twitter is turning into a cesspool of terrorism. Yay! Okay, now that we've covered all of this, let's get to the news. Let's get to the news for today, and let's discuss. Hi, California. Let's discuss the YouTube thumbnail. I know that. So I usually say this, and I never like. I usually say let's discuss the info that's on the thumbnail, and then it strikes me that the thumbnail is literally only visible to YouTube. And also someone's asking, because it's Republican, is that like basically is that why I'm calling Parler a cesspool of terrorism? No, it's because a January 6th insurrection was pretty much organized there. So if it was Republican, if it was libertarian, if it was liberal, if it was, I don't know, literally, if it was like the cult of the flying spaghetti monster, it doesn't matter. It was like, it was an extension to terrorism because they were literally planning an insurrection there and then tried to execute it. So no, not because it's Republican, but yes, it was those were Republicans who did that. So Trump Republicans. Anyways, so basically, what was I going to say? So I'm going to walk you through the thumbnail. The thumbnail today says that Europe receives threats, and there is a picture of a package. So what has happened in the past 24 hours is honestly incredibly disturbing. It's so I'm so sorry, I didn't mean to burst out laughing, but this person says an Antifa isn't terrorist. First of all, it like strikes me. Okay, Rebecca, don't get this person out yet. No, Rebecca. Oh my God. So like this person says and Antifa isn't terrorist. Like, I am Antifa. Antifa means anti-fascist. It's not a cult. Antifa is not a cult. Antifa is not an organization. Antifa is a system of beliefs that means that you don't believe in fascism and you're anti-fascism. How on the planet could that be terrorist? It's just like that statement drives me crazy. Anytime I see that, I find it so incredibly funny. Anti-fa means anti-fascist. And for some reason, like, it is crazy fascist and far-right people think that Antifa is an organization, yet like it isn't. It doesn't have a headquarters. It's not an organization. It's just like people with a system of beliefs, and it's just so incredibly funny. First of all, how can you call an inexistent organization terrorist? Second of all, what did anti-fascist people do to give you an idea that they could be classified as terrorists? It's so incredibly funny to me. I'm sorry that I burst out laughing right after saying some news are disturbing. That is not what I meant to do, but it's just that person had to come in and ask if Antifa, like in this condescending tone, like what, Antifa isn't terrorist? And so I had to say something. I'm sorry, I couldn't stay silent. Also, thank you so much, Crazy Cat, for acquiring the first membership to my channel, to my YouTube channel. I really appreciate that. It's very sweet of you. Okay, so Oksana on YouTube says, when I got a year-long contract working in Ukraine, after a while, I placed a pin into the leather cushion on the apartment door, a small knife under the inside doormat, and now I live in Canada. Oh, that's interesting. Are those um it's very interesting because like I don't know what those I think this is based on superstitions, but I don't know what those mean because I've never heard of these, but I do know that like let's say my aunt, she will always pin like safety pins on the label of her clothing for some reason, and that's supposed to be from like um that's supposed to be like protecting you from ill wishers or something. I don't do that, but anytime my mom like sends me a sweater or gets me a sweater or like I don't know, gives me an item of her clothing, I always find safety pins inside of it. They're pinned to like the label or to something like literally to any piece of like marketing materials inside of the sweater, and it's so funny. And I always am like so confused as if I don't know that what it means, and then I'm like, oh right, okay. Hi Albert. So okay. Um So okay, basically here is what I wanted to discuss today when I started talking about things that were highly disturbing. So there has been hi Karine, there have been some incredibly disturbing news coming out of Europe. Basically, Ukrainian embassies in 6 different countries have received threats. So it started with something completely it started with something incredibly awful. The first on the list was the Embassy of Spain. Oh, thank you, Jason. Welcome to the channel membership too. Um, sorry, I just thank you, Natlin. Oh my gosh, I've never seen the beaver before. It's so cute. Thank you guys. You're so sweet. I really appreciate it. But so basically, what ended up happening is Ukrainian embassy in Madrid in Spain received a mail-in bomb in an envelope, and a and one of the employees of the embassy. Thank you, CyberDoc. Thank you so much. And one of the employees of the embassy basically got injured because he was the one who opened that package, and that package contained an explosive in it. After that, a series of other explosives were sent to different government institutions all around Madrid, Spain. Thank you, Lucy. Welcome to the spy lair. So basically, oh my gosh, sorry. There was something, I got distracted by a YouTube comment. But basically, a series of other attacks on different government structures in Spain then followed, and they were all in and around Madrid. So the next explosive was sent to the Prime Minister of Spain. The next one was sent to the Spanish Air Force, and the next one was sent to the arms manufacturer company that manufactures arms for delivery for Ukraine. And then the last one that followed was the Embassy of the United States in Madrid, Spain. They also received a package with explosives. So, as if that wasn't ridiculous, the next thing that happened is the Ukrainian representative to the Vatican came home to his Rome residence, and he said that it was brutally vandalized with what he thinks were animal feces. He said it smelled like so incredibly potently and disgusting, and it just looked like animal feces. And so that's what he found in his Rome residence as he was coming home. Then a series of other incredibly disturbing things started happening in 6 countries in total. Ukrainian embassies started basically in 6 countries in total. A series of other disturbing things started happening. Animal eyes and animal tissues and animal feces have been delivered in what has been deemed to be bloody packages to various Ukrainian embassies in Croatia, in the Netherlands, in Poland, in Czech Republic, and in Italy, as well as in Ukrainian consulates in Naples, Brno, and Krakow. Brno is Czech Republic, Naples is Italy, and Krakow is Poland. So I believe that it was Czech Republic where they received two packages containing fish eyes in an envelope. In Poland, they received just like animal tissue. In Croatia, they intercepted the package at the post office before it made it to the embassy. And in other countries, it was basically different animal materials as well. So this is incredibly disturbing, and it is Dmytro Kuleba, who is the Ukrainian foreign minister, came out and said that this has all the signs of a deliberate attack on Ukrainian embassies with the goal to intimidate. And it's just like a new form of terror, you know. And obviously, all eyes are in Russia, and everybody all eyes are in Russia, and everybody thinks that it was orchestrated by Russia. Then there was also an alleged rumor. It's so I have to say allegedly because it hasn't been confirmed, and I'm going to call it a rumor because again, hasn't been confirmed. But apparently, they found like multiple bodies of dead dogs in like a remote area of Russia with their eyes taken out. So, first of all, as a dog owner, anytime I see the way Russians treat animals, I just can't believe it and I can't process it. To me, it's so incredibly disturbing because, well, first of all, animals are so, like, they depend on us for protection. And like it's so hard for me to like I know it's so crazy because I know most of us are like this, but it's like I can learn how to process human death, right? Like I can learn how to process atrocities against humans, and for some reason it's not like it's easier in a way because I know that they're conscious beings who can process what's happening. But dogs and cats and other animals, like they don't understand why you're doing to them what you're doing, you know? It's like children. They're so innocent and they can't protect themselves. And they rely on us for protection. And they like, they come to us for love and for affection and for all of these things. And so they immediately trust us innately. And to betray that trust and to do these incredibly, incredibly ugly, pathetic things to them like, is so just evil and conniving and gross. And so, yeah, there are these rumors that Russia is behind it. There are also these rumors that they have found, mutilated dogs without eyes in a mass grave in Russia, and it's just outright just disturbing on so many levels. I can't even begin to say that. I can't even begin to describe it. And obviously, I mean, I don't see who else would have any reason really um, to send feces to a Ukrainian representative to Vatican's apartment and to send these threats in a form of like animal tissue to Ukrainian embassies in various different countries and to places and countries, embassies that support Ukraine. It just makes no sense if it's anything other than Russia. It might not be Russian government officials, but it definitely is connected to Russia and Russian supporters and stuff like that. And it's just, it's really sad. It's incredibly disturbing, and it's mind-boggling. Right now, there is an investigation being done, and obviously they're looking into trying to interpret what this message specifically is trying to say, other than just like send, animal tissue for intimidation. But they're going to try and interpret it. Thank you, Jack. And hi, Alex. And with that said, another interesting piece of information. So I've shared it before briefly, but I never named the channel. I'm going to do that today because the other day, so first of all, let me find my remote so I can, I have like a remote for my ring light, and I feel like my ring light is just so bright right now, and it could be less bright, and I would like to make it less bright, but I don't know where I put that remote, which is strange because I always keep it somewhere next to me. Give me 1 second, guys. I'm sorry for the like little cliffhanger. I just want to find this remote and fix this lighting. And where did I put it? Oh my gosh. Why am I so disorganized today? I feel like I normally have all of my technology on me and I normally can locate it pretty easily, but for some reason not today. That's so weird. Where could I have put that? I turned it on, before this news stream, so it has to be somewhere around. Okay, well maybe I'll just move it away a little bit because I think it's just a little much. Okay, I did move it away a little. So what I was trying to say is that yesterday, and usually, I give you a very detailed breakdown on why I think that following Russian creators, trusting Russian liberal media, allowing a platform for Russians to speak about the war in Ukraine is so incredibly wrong on so many levels. And if you watch me for a while, you know why I think that, right? And so there are seemingly innocent channels that don't even mention Ukraine, that are just sort of like showing you life inside of Russia, and maybe you're interested and so you follow them, right? I don't want to sound like this, but in my 9 months of doing this, I have for myself learned that I absolutely do not have any trust left for Russian creators, liberal Russians, good Russians, whatever you want to call them, because at the end of the day, something incredibly ugly always comes out of it. So I want to ask you a question. How many of you watch a channel called 1420? How many of you have seen this channel? How many of you know what this channel is? It's called 1420. I promise you this question has a reasoning behind it. It's a very large channel. It's created by a Russian guy, Daniil or whatever. It has 300,000 subscribers. As 300,000 subscribers. I will show you what it looks like. And it's seemingly innocent channel. It basically does interviews on the street in English from Russians. It has 387,000 subscribers. This is what it looks like. It's like this, little here. I will show you. Sorry, this lens doesn't automatically focus on things. Yeah, so 264 videos, 387,000 subscribers, channel community, channel memberships, views are usually 200K, 248K. And here are the titles. Do rural Russians think the war is going well? Why people in Western Europe live 10 years longer? What do Russians think now, 9 months after the start? Did you know that Russia belongs to Sweden historically? How can we stop the war? Why do you even love Russia? A rural Russians answer, right? And so this is a channel basically that does like street interviews from Russians. And you would think, like, what could be wrong? This guy is not even really talking about Ukraine. He's not really doing anything wrong, like, right? He's just showing things within Russia. So a couple of months ago, I received a DM from this man. And I did check that it was him because it was like an Instagram, and it's, I never know really. Like if it's the same person or if it's just someone pretending to be them, and the Instagram only had like 3,000 followers. But I did check, I did confirm. There was a lot on that Instagram that would let you confirm that it is that person. And so the DM is in Russian. I did post, thank you, Carrie. I did post proof of what has been said in screenshots, although they are in Russian on Twitter. But you can go and you can basically check it out if you don't believe what I'm about to read. But here is what happened. Hi, I saw your channel in recommendations. I watched your live. He says he really didn't, because that particular live after which he had messaged me, I was literally saying that I don't want to have anything to do with any Russians, and that I purposely avoid all Russian channels. And it was one of the lives where I was explaining why not all Russians is a really bad rhetoric. So I doubt he watched the live. He really did not. He just saw that it was something about Ukraine and he DM'd me. Anyways, so he goes, here's my channel. I think my subscribers would really like your channel. I have a channel called 1420 and I film street interviews. Let me know if you're considering advertisement. I would talk about you to my subscribers and about your channel. It will be a great boost for you. I go, hey, thanks for watching. I know your channel. I've seen it in recommendations too. I don't have a budget for advertisement, unfortunately. Boost would obviously be amazing because I do talk about Ukraine every day in geopolitical and historical sense, but I'm sorry, I can't offer you anything monetary. Okay, well, when I have an opportunity, I will let you know. And by the way, advertisement on my channel for small bloggers is $400, just in case. So let me get this straight. I never reached out to this man. I don't follow him. I don't watch his channel. I saw it in recommended. And mind you, I responded very nicely too. Like, I responded very nicely about this too. Like, I didn't, like, I was just so taken aback that, to be honest, a lot of the times I don't even know what to say in these kinds of situations. But so you are claiming you watched my channel. You know I'm Ukrainian. If you have watched it, you would know I wasn't monetized. I wasn't even like close to being monetized at that point. And also, I don't make money off of this. So clearly, if this is your way of like doing business, right? Then you created this channel specifically to be a YouTuber and to make money, right? But a lot of Russians watch you. You probably lost your monetization, cut in half, because Russian views are now not being monetized, right? You're not getting money off of that. So you're reaching out to Ukrainians so they could pay you money. You, a Russian who lives in Moscow or St. Petersburg, but he lives in Russia, to get advertised on your channel. You want to monetize off of a Ukrainian for your channel? And these are the people that people follow. Like, this guy has 300,000 subscribers. And he reaches out to a Ukrainian person, unprompted, literally asking them if they want to pay him money to advertise me on his channel. It's crazy. How do you know it was him? I confirmed it. I went and I looked for his like stuff. I went and I did. Like, I did do my research. But it's incredibly freaking insane. And the worst part of all of this is this man didn't even reach out to me in English. He reached out to me in Russian immediately. So immediately. I didn't even say that I speak Russian. And both our channels are in English, by the way. So I don't see why he would reach out to me speaking Russian to begin with. Also, to someone who is saying, oh, Someone reached out to me and it wasn't them. Like, yeah, I mean, I did tie his Instagram to his profile. I did tie his interviews to these profiles. Also, there were photos on this Instagram that didn't exist anywhere else online. I did Google reverse search. So yeah. You are a small channel compared to him. I am a small channel. I'm aware of that. That's not the point. The point is that I didn't ask for this man to advertise me. The point is that I didn't reach out to him. The point is that it's a Russian who reached out to me to ask me to pay him money to advertise me. That's the point, okay? I wouldn't be complaining if I reached out to a channel, okay, and I asked them, hey, could you advertise me? And they were like, well, hey, I don't do it for free. But I didn't. This is a Russian who reached out to me and was like, hey, you definitely need a boost. And you know, I'm such a good Russian and I really want you to get a boost because you talk about Ukraine and all the atrocities that's happening, but I'm not going to do it for free. I want you to pay me $400 because for small bloggers, I have a special price of $400. It's literally gross. It is so gross. Disgusting. Disgusting. In a lot of ways. Ew. Really ew. And obviously, you know what? If this blows up, this guy can go ahead and be like, oh, it wasn't me, it wasn't my channel, it wasn't my Instagram, it wasn't my whatever. Like, sure, this is the thing, that they can do this because they can easily say it wasn't them. They can easily say it was not them. Yeah. There you go. And so where I was going with this is I personally have been avoiding Russian content. I've also held on to this for like months because I didn't see the point of of airing it, right? But then I see like Zach the Russian, I see like Zach the Russian dude, all of these people. And like, I'm not saying they're bad people, right? But like, here's the thing. Why are there Russian guys analyzing the war in Ukraine and telling you what's wrong with the war in Ukraine and telling you how Ukrainians feel and telling you how all of this is going? Like, why? Why? They're on YouTube. It's their supplemental income, right? So they are making money off of the war in Ukraine by talking about the war in Ukraine. Right? And it's like they're not bringing you the Russian perspective, right? It's not like they're dudes who are like pro-Russian or like, I even understand the propagandists more because, okay, they're doing this because they want you to believe in what they think. These guys are pro-Ukrainian and they sit there and they tell you things about the war in Ukraine from a Ukrainian perspective and why it's bad and stuff like that. And it's like, we didn't ask you to do this. We don't need Russian representation defending us. We have Ukrainian creators talking about the war in Ukraine. You're Russian. You're never going to understand. And this war is very complicated because it is not like just a war. It's not just an invasion. It is a cultural war. It is a historical war. It is a war against our colonizer. There is so much nuance that a Russian will never understand. So I don't like. What they should be doing if they're really a good Russian and they want to help is they would be giving all of their monetization away to the armed forces of Ukraine, not keeping some and donating some and going and holding like a Ukrainian flag at a protest. They would be amplifying, they would shut up, they would take a back seat, and instead of talking instead of us and on our behalf, they would be amplifying our voices. They would be sharing our profiles. They would be having Ukrainian guests all the time, and they would be asking Ukrainians these questions instead of answering these questions for you in the West. If they were so pro-Ukrainian and they cared about Ukraine so much, they would start their channels in Russian, talking to Russians about Russia. And people are like, oh my God, they're so brave. They're in America. They're in Europe. They're wherever. They're not brave. It's not like they were never thinking of coming back to Russia to begin with. They're in safety. They're not brave. And another factor here is that, like, people are like, oh my gosh, most Russians talk about Russia and they never talk about Ukraine. I wish more Russians were like Zach and they talked about Ukraine. I don't. I'm Ukrainian. I think a Russian has no business talking about Ukraine, for Ukraine, through, like, on Ukrainian behalf. They have no business to do this. It's like, you are, like, here's the thing. It's opportunist. And it's called a relevant subject that they're covering. I absolutely despise this. I don't want a Russian to speak on my behalf. They don't get it. And by you endorsing these people, by you following these people, you are perpetuating the narrative that a Russian can understand how a Ukrainian feels, because we're not that different. So the brotherly nations, the same people narrative. Because let's say if there was a war in France, right, that Germany waged upon France, and good Germans started talking to you about, like, how French people feel and the intricacy of France and the intricacy of what's happening on the side of France on behalf of France, you'd be like, what the, you don't know anything about France, you're German. But for some reason, when it's Russians, you don't have that question, right? Because Russians understand Ukrainians, we're not that different, right? And that's the bias that you have, that you support and that you perpetuate by giving views to these Russian creators. I've also noticed this, like, incredibly effed up thing. I've noticed this incredibly effed up thing. American people who speak about the war in Ukraine have 100, 300,000 subscribers. Russian people who speak about the war in Ukraine have 100, 3,000 subscribers. I know a couple of channels from Ukraine that have about that many subs. Most Ukrainian channels who talk about the war will have about as many subscribers as I do, which is like nearing 3,000, right? That is wrong. Why would you think that it's appropriate to watch Americans, English, French, German, Russian analysts over Ukrainian analysts about a war that's happening in our country, waged upon us, about, like, based on, like, historical and cultural precedent that you weren't even familiar with until 8 months ago? And then these American, German, English analysts will find these Russian people talking about the war in Ukraine and will give them half of their freaking 300,000 audience and call them brave. But the thing is, as a Ukrainian, I'm telling you, if you're a Westerner, if you're a foreigner, and you find yourself wanting to interview a Russian channel who talks about the war, please don't, because it's harmful. You're spreading the Russian perspective. You're spreading the idea that Russians know how we feel. You're spreading the idea that we're in the same situation. You're spreading the idea, like, you are letting a colonizer talk you through how people that they colonized feel. It's so wrong. Like, these people, I'm not saying all of these people are bad. I'm not saying all of these guys that are talking about the war in Ukraine are bad. No, but they don't get it. They're not Ukrainian. How are you getting the Ukrainian perspective from a non-Ukrainian? Please make it make sense to me. How do you take a Russian perspective of the war in Ukraine over a freaking Ukrainian perspective? How do you think that a Russian can accurately explain to you what is going on and why, if Russians can't even admit that they stole our history? How are you expecting to hear the news and updates from a Russian if they don't even care that we keep asking them to stop putting their stupid new Russia flag next to the Ukraine flag? All of these people will have this, like, blue and white flag without the red, new Russia, and next to it a Ukraine flag, suggesting that once Russia is Putin free, we are going to be friends, Russia and Ukraine. It's like they're never going to change until they realize that we don't owe them friendship. They owe us to leave us the F alone. And to let us freaking be. And if we don't want to be friends with them, or don't want to see them, or don't want to talk to them, or don't want to interact with them for centuries to come, they are just gonna have to swallow it. And the fact that they keep pushing and pushing and imposing and imposing and imposing just means that literally they are still dictating us what to do, because they're like, well, once we get rid of Putin and us new, good, liberal Russians, you're going to have to be friends with us, because why wouldn't you be? Because we're traumatized and we don't want to have anything to do with you. And it's fine. And you should deal with it. And you should stop imposing your stupid new Russia flag on us. Because to me, that new Russia flag means nothing. It's just another rag. It's the same Russia. It's the same principles of literally not leaving us alone. It's the same principles of not letting us decide for ourselves. It's the same principles of imposing your friendship. It's the same principles of telling us what to do and how we should feel about you, but without Putin. Fantastic. Fantastic. What a new Russia. And also, I've said this yesterday, and I know that this creator didn't mean it because he just doesn't know. But so Jake Bro is a big creator who does warfare analysis, and he's good at it. He analyzes, he's a financial analyst. He analyzes warfare on the front lines of Ukraine. I have nothing negative to say about him except that I'm gonna unfollow him and I'm gonna stop recommending him on my channel because he platforms way too many Russian creators, right? And I've tried reaching out to him. I'm sure he's busy. He didn't see my message, but I also, in good conscience, can't keep recommending his channel because he keeps platforming Russians. But his thumbnails are basically when he talks about Ukraine and the US, it'll be a US flag and then a map of Ukraine with the Ukrainian colors in that US flag. I will actually show you what I mean. And he did something unwittingly, for sure, because he definitely doesn't understand the sentiment. And that's the problem, that a lot of Western people who talk about the war in Ukraine do not understand the nuance and sentiment behind certain things. And so they do these things that are incredibly damaging without realizing. I will show you what I mean. That is so incredibly damaging. And Jake Bro has no idea. And I guarantee you he has no idea because here, videos. So here is his interview with Zach the Russian, right here. I will show you right here. So this is a new Russia flag, and inside of this goddamn new Russia flag, okay, there is a map of Ukraine with Ukrainian colors. Now, he has an interview with some American, and he has an American flag and then a map of Ukraine inside of it. He has he has Switzerland and stuff. So this is not a singular occasion, right? It wasn't premeditated. But by no effing means in the world is it okay to put a map of Ukraine inside a flag of Russia, whether it's new Russia, old Russia, Russia of tomorrow, Russia of the day after tomorrow, anti-Putin Russia, anti-Russia Russia, no matter what effing Russia it is, you can't put a map of Ukraine inside of a Russian flag. How tone deaf do you have to be? And then I watched bits and pieces of this interview. When you click on it, and here again, I want to reiterate this so loudly. This is nothing against Jake Bro because he's American and he is an analyst who started analyzing the war in Ukraine, warfare, good at warfare analysis, does not get the nuance because he's American. This is new to him. But here's the thing, this is nothing against him whatsoever. I have no problem with him. I'm just saying, I hope he sees this and I hope he fixes this and I hope he hears me because this is so incredibly offensive to Ukrainians. So not only is this super offensive because there's a map of Ukraine inside of a Russian flag. Well, what kind of messaging is that? But I also, I'm giving this, unfortunately, a view for monetization because it makes me watch an ad and I really don't want to because it's an interview with the Russian. But alas, I want to show you another problem that I have with this interview. Okay, so here is this Russian dude, right? This is a flag of Ukraine, and right next to it, there is the new Russia rag, okay? Here. So originally he's from Russia, okay, and he's in the United States, and he's so brave for speaking about Ukraine. No, please stop speaking about Ukraine. You're Russian. Speak about Russia. Talk about what Russia can change. Talk about, I don't know. If you're so keen on building the new Russia, why don't you go and try to organize your comrades and build that freaking Russia instead of talking about Ukraine for money and for attention? Stop. even if it's not for money or for attention. Here's the thing: even if your intentions are incredibly pure, still stop, because you're taking the airspace away from Ukrainians who actually know what's going on, who are actually Ukrainian, who live in this situation, whose parents live in this situation. If you have an aunt, I don't know, a grandma, a great grandma who lives in a village in Ukraine, and last time you visited her was 25 years ago, I don't care. You're not Ukrainian. You don't live in Ukraine. You have not experienced the freaking colonization. You have not experienced the discrimination. You don't know what it's like to be a Ukrainian, and having a Ukrainian aunt or a relative in a village in Kramatorsk doesn't qualify you. Okay? Are we good with that? Thank you. So if you're Russian and you actually truly want to help Ukraine, stop talking about Ukraine. Talk to your comrades about Russia in Russian, and I don't know, start building your new Russia. But anyways, this dude has a Ukrainian flag and this new Russia flag hanging right next to it. Again, implying the friendship between, the Ukraine and the new Russia. Stop it. We don't want to be friends with you. And if you can't grasp that and you can't stop imposing yourself, then you haven't learned anything. And we obviously don't want to be friends with this new Russia of yours even more, because you just can't grasp the simple concept of leaving us alone. Like, leave us alone. We don't want to be friends with you. We want a break. We need a break from you, goddammit. So yeah, this is the big issue that I have, and I'm not going to stop talking about it. And the reason why I brought it up today is because, Russian opposition channels, there are lots of Russian opposition channels that are liberal Russian channels, and they're so good, and they've been banned in Russia because they're too liberal and too opposition, okay? Here's the thing: most Russians don't support Ukraine. They don't like Putin. They're against Putin. They're not pro-Ukraine. So there is this lovely opposition channel from Russia. It's called Telekanal Dozht. So Rain TV. And Rain TV has been blocked in Russia because they're so opposition and so liberal, okay? And, such damaging narrative. And they have come out with a very interesting, incredibly interesting airtime, where they thanked their subscribers for donating for gear and basic necessities for Russian soldiers who serve on the front lines, because obviously they're under-equipped and obviously they're struggling. So this Russian opposition that hates Putin so much, that's so good, that's so anti-war, is raising money, thank you so much, for gear for Russian soldiers on Ukrainian front lines so they can continue invading and killing Ukrainians. And okay, there could be an argument of like, yeah, but they're still Russians and they're worried about them because, they're gonna like die and stuff and they're freezing and stuff. Well, then let them. That's the whole point, because if you're against the war, you can't support the freaking soldiers aim to kill people. Whether they're freezing or not freezing, it doesn't matter. That's the whole point. They signed up for this war. And what you can do is you can teach them a lesson. Maybe they'll stop signing up for the war if they keep not gear. So I'm going to demonstrate to you exactly, don't take my word for it. There is subtitles and stuff, and you can listen to it yourself, where this man from this TV channel literally thanks his subscribers. And this is like one of the biggest Russian opposition media channels. And they're right now in Europe. They have been banished from Russia. And honestly, Lithuanian authorities were like, oh my gosh, they have to be deported back to Russia. That's disgusting. And yes, they should be, because they're raising money for the Russian army. Here, take a look.
Есть свидетельства о том, как проходит мобилизация, о том, как мобилизованные служат на фронте, отправляются на передовую. Обязательно, и вы хотите об этом рассказать, о проблемах в российской армии, отправляйте нам сообщение на почту army@tvrain.ru или пишите в наш телеграм-бот. Мы практически всем отвечаем, и многие из написанных историй на нашей почте и в телеграм-бот становятся опубликованным. Мы надеемся, что многим военнослужащим, в том числе, мы смогли помочь, например, с оснащением и с просто элементарными удобствами на фронте, потому что те истории, которые публиковались и рассказывались родственниками, ну, честно говоря, бросают в ужас. Но мы вернемся к...
Oh yeah, these stories are frankly terrifying for you. You don't say. It isn't terrifying for you that these people are coming to kill innocent civilians and that they take orders and that they do it and that they loot and that they draw swastikas in our apartments? That doesn't terrify you? That doesn't bother you, huh? But it's terrifying that these poor guys are freezing on the front lines without proper gear. So this is like Rain TV is one of the biggest opposition media in Russia. Like, are you kidding me? These people have been fundraising for Russian soldiers to give them basic gear and basic frontline comforts. And these are the people that are supposed to be at war, and these people that are banished from Russia for being too liberal. Like, their liberal media is just the same propaganda. It's just wrapped in a different candy wrapper. Latvia launched an investigation against the TV channel because of this statement. So Latvia is most likely going to deport them, and thank God, because they shouldn't be, like, they shouldn't have a platform. This is what I'm saying. Like, here is the thing. Like, when you allow a platform to Russians, a lot of them don't even realize their colonialism, and a lot of them don't even realize their imperialistic views. And a lot of them are feeding those imperialistic views to you as like under the pretense of this being like critical thinking or criticism or something, and you believe them because they're overall pro-Ukrainian. And I'm not saying that like all of them are bad. I'm just saying that they come from the country of imperialism and colonization. And them talking about Ukraine and educating you on the war in Ukraine is so freaking inappropriate on so many freaking levels. And I can't keep saying this. You know what I'm saying? As in, like, there are preconceived notions that these people have that they might not even be aware of, that they tell you as their opinion, and you think it's critical thinking, but realistically, it's just innate imperialism. And then you have these ideas about Ukraine and about Ukrainians and about like Russia from these people who were like raised by their parents. Most of these people's parents hate them. Most of these people's parents support the war. You've heard that, right? They grew up with these parents. Do you really think that they didn't take over some of these beliefs? They did. They grew up in a society where they were taught to be superior. They all have some sort of an innate situation. Like, even the fact that they think it's appropriate for them to talk about Ukraine in a positive light, educating you about the war, is already innate superiority complex. What makes these people think that it's appropriate? They're not Ukrainian. What makes them think that they understand what's happening? What makes them because they think that we're not that different, and they get it. They get it because we grew up in similar countries, but Russia and Ukraine are not similar countries. The Soviet Union people, sure, they might get each other because it was pretty similar. Still, Ukraine put so much resistance. Russia didn't. But like this 21-year-old me and like me, we have nothing in common. I don't know what life is like in Russia. I don't know what it's like growing up in Russia. He doesn't know what life is like in Ukraine or what it's like growing up in Ukraine. We don't have anything in common. It's like the same as if like a random Mexican person, as an example, or a random, like, I don't know, Haitian person, or a random, like, a person from Goa literally started talking about the war in Ukraine as if they understand, never having been there because, like, I don't know, their aunt lives there and they've spoken to her 5 times in her life. And they might speak Ukrainian, or they might speak like a similar language. Again, you know, like, here's the thing. You don't think that Germans understand the culture of the Netherlands, and you don't think that the Netherlands are like qualified people, Dutch people are qualified to speak about Germany as if they were German, right? Languages are similar, though, actually have more similarity than Ukrainian and Russian do. Ukrainian and Russian have 62% syntaxical similarity. German and Dutch have 82%, so 20% more. Yet you would not be taking a German's word for like the inner culture of Netherlands, right? And you would not be taking a Dutch word for intricacy and inner like culture of Germany. It makes no sense. So why do you do that with Russians and Ukrainians? I just don't understand. It bugs me and irritates me so much. Because you, by your views and by your subscriptions, you perpetuate these people's thinking that they're qualified to talk on the subject they know nothing about. Because again, they're not from there. And it's like, oh, I wish more Russians talked about Ukraine. Why? I wish more Russians stopped talking about Ukraine. Because why are they talking about a country that isn't theirs? Why are they talking about something they have no idea about? I wish they'd shut up. I wish they talked simply only about Russia with their real perspective. And then you can decide if you want to follow them. But why are they talking about Ukraine? Why are they talking about horrors of Bucha? Why are they talking about horrors of Mariupol? Why are they talking about how awful it is from the perspective of Ukrainians and how Ukrainians feel about it? Let Ukrainians talk about it, no? How inappropriate is it to speak on behalf of Ukrainians? Again, the sheer fact that they don't understand that it's inappropriate to talk about this is already a red flag. Anyways, let me see something. I think, there we go. This should be much better. I am trying to figure out here something to make you guys tell me if what I'm doing is making me more blurry or less blurry. I think less blurry. Okay, because I have a lens now that isn't autofocus. So on YouTube, I feel like sometimes I have like the quality is not as great. But okay, here's the thing. One thing that I do want to say is Russians need to shut up about Ukraine. And Russians need to, stay in their lane and talk about things that they have knowledge about. Like, I don't know, Russia. Okay, so we're going to start off strong with the news today, and we're going to talk about the beautiful places in Ukraine. And the place that I'm going to talk about today is actually in the region where I grew up, and it's Olesko Castle in Lviv region. Olesko Castle was first mentioned in written sources dating back to 1327. The location of the castle on the border of Lithuania and Poland led to a constant struggle for it and frequent changes of owners. In 15th to 16th centuries, it was a victim of destructive raids of Tatars. By the end of 19th century, the castle was almost a ruin. For the money collected in 1882 by the citizens of Lviv, the castle was bought and it became the property of the state. Until 1939, the castle was used as an agricultural school for women. When Galicia was annexed to the USSR, a camp for Polish prisoners of war was organized in the castle, and during the Second World War, military warehouses were located there. Since the 70s of the last century, the active restoration of the castle began. Now it is a department of the Lviv Art Gallery. And here's what it looks like. It's honestly very, 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 very beautiful. It is such a pretty place. I don't want to play the music here because I don't want YouTube to strike it down. You can sing to the film. Oh my God. So the thing is, it's in Ukrainian, so you're not going to be able to read it. That's why I chose not to mirror it, because unless you're Ukrainian, you can't read it. But if you're Ukrainian, then you most likely know what's happening, and you most likely have seen Olesko Castle because it's one of the most famous places in Ukraine. We do have lots of castles, and we like our castles a lot. Oh my gosh, I really need to work on the lighting of this. Do I appear blurry to you on YouTube? Also, hi, my name is Yulia. I was born and raised in Lviv, Ukraine, and I've been living in New York for the past 12 years, since I was 16 years old. My family lives in Lviv. My grandma, mom, dad, everybody, immediate family, so family, people I talk to every day. They're still in Lviv. I'm the only one in the United States, and every day on this channel, we do news for about 2 hours. We break down everything in terms of context, culturally, politically, historically, and otherwise. And this stream is simultaneously being cast on 4 different platforms. It's TikTok, Twitter, for now, YouTube, and Twitch. And if you like any of these platforms more than the one you're currently at, my handle is the same across the board. So whatever you see out here or at the top or as the handle of the channel is going to be the same on all of the platforms, and you're welcome to switch. Now, I do ask people to sign up for my YouTube because I will be doing a lot more videos, not streams. Well, streams, and I'm also going to be doing a lot more videos. I also have interviews with Ukrainian defenders dubbed with English voiceovers for your convenience, so you can watch them or listen to them on the go. And then also I am going to be launching 3 new segments very soon, as well as on Wednesdays and Sundays I post news briefs instead of lives, where in under 20 minutes I summarize everything that happened in the past 24 hours and up until that point in the week. So if you guys are on YouTube, I highly recommend, please do sign up for my YouTube. Please don't forget to like the stream. Please don't forget to comment on this stream. Please don't forget to just, give me a little bit of love on this platform, because a little bit of love goes a very long way and more people will be able to see the news about Ukraine. Thank you very much. Also, YouTube recently gave me monetization. So for all of the videos that are titled as briefs, 25% of the profits are going to go to the Ukrainian military. And for Torque interviews specifically, all of the profit is going to go to Torque in order for him to buy an apartment for his parents, because they lost everything in Mariupol. And once all of the views are counted and I get some monetization out of those videos, because, those that have 10,000 views, I wasn't monetized at the time. I will be posting receipts on the community tab, so you guys see that the money actually did go where I said it would go. And basically, yes. So all of the briefs coming from now, and all of the briefs and stuff like that are going to be all 25% of monetization from briefs goes to the Ukrainian army. 100% of monetization from Torque interviews is going to go to Torque. So this is what it is. And if you'd like to share my videos on Facebook, Quora, Discord, Twitch, the Twitter, or Reddit, I would highly appreciate it, because that usually generates quite a bit of traffic. And all of that traffic results in monetization, and all that monetization results in more donation to the AFU, and more donations to the AFU result in our army winning faster. So thank you very much, and I really appreciate your contribution to our country. Okay, with that said, I'm going to start on the actual news for today. And this is going to be a very, very sad picture, and it is a picture of an injured hero being worked on after an intense battle. I would assume it's around Bakhmut. God bless all the men and women who are currently fighting on the front line. So this is him being operated on. This is him being operated on. After an intense battle, and this is, in the conditions with a flashlight on like a random massage table, because that's the conditions in which our defenders need to be patched up, so to speak. Latvia is removing pedestrian bridges on the borders of Russia and Belarus, and they have been actively doing this for a couple of weeks now, and they're removing all of the bridges that they have that are pedestrian on those borders. Also, thank you, Kay. And thank you, Alex, for saying you really appreciate the abridged videos. I'm going to try and have more of these. Heroyam Slava. I'm going to try and have more of these videos actually, because if John is going to help me edit them, then maybe I will be able to also post briefs like more often, even with lives, you know? Before and after, this is how a high-rise building in Sviatoshinsky district in Kyiv, which was hit by a missile on March 15th, looks like now. A mural with the phoenix as a symbol of the restoration of the building was put on it. So this is what the building looked like when it was destroyed in the beginning of the full-scale invasion, and this is what the building looks like now. And, you know, Russia still can't restore the buildings that weren't destroyed by bombs, but that's okay. So this was destroyed on March 15th, and today this is exactly what it looks like. Відео з Бахмуту, ну це залежить, тому що якщо воно дуже графічне, то я не можу його показувати, бо YouTube зніме монетизацію. I'm from Ukraine. Ну, або забанить мій канал дуже, ну, YouTube дуже, типу, такий цей норм. Ну, окей, добре, тоді кидай. EU has preliminarily agreed on a ceiling price for Russian oil at $60 per barrel, says Reuters. Aerial photography of Russian defensive structures under construction in Donbass. So Russians are building defense structures in Donbass because they're anticipating the Ukrainian army coming in. And taking back. You know, here's the thing. One from our community. No, Grumpy, it's okay. I let him. Grumpy, I asked him to send it. He asked me. Basically, one of the things that I wanted to say is, oh my gosh, yeah. So I posted a video in the community tab the other day, and it was a video from a different channel that was sent to me by a follower. And it was an incredible video that basically was titled, "Territories Are People." And this is the best way to put it, because, you know, when we say that we want our territories back, it's not about the land. I mean, it is about the land, because why would someone just come and take our land? Like, you know, why? what reason or what right do they have? None, right? But at the same time, it's not about the territory. It's about the people who live on that territory. Territories are people. It's their homes, it's their memories, it's their childhood, it's where they tied the knot. It's these things. And it's incredibly disturbing and disgusting that someone feels like they can just come in and take it. And then if the people don't want to live there, well, they can just move. Well, then why did the minority of the Russians that you say didn't want to live in Ukraine didn't just move? Anyways, I'm just, you know, sorry. Ти можеш мені скинути це відео як Whisper, тому що я не можу його скопіювати з цього. Ну, в мене просто я через стрімінг софтвер це роблю, в мене просто не виходить скопіювати. But so there is a video that I'm going to show you while I try to figure out. There is a video that I'm going to show you, and it's about Kanye West. But I feel the need to show it because it's just so ludicrous that Тавлічку, якщо можеш. That I just, everyone needs. So first of all, let me recap a little bit. So Kanye West was blocked on Twitter, and Twitter was taken over by Elon Musk. And then Kanye was reinstated when Elon Musk took over Twitter. And then the other day, Elon Musk blocked Kanye again and said that even he can't handle it, which is like, well, actually, yeah, if Elon Musk, who's like a pretty far right appearing person, can't handle Kanye's comments, that should tell you everything you need to know about Kanye. But he basically blocked him again. And then Kanye went on air, and this TV host was trying to have him clarify that when Kanye said that he loves Hitler, he didn't mean that he loves Hitler. He meant that he loves Hitler's fashion, like the Hugo Boss uniforms and stuff like that. And Kanye was like, no. I love the man, and there is a lot I love about him. And so for anybody of you who still tries to justify him or, or deny that he is just a piece of sheet, here is my answer to you. But also there is a full video that I'm going to show you from his appearance on another TV, on another channel with another host, where he says that he supports Russia and he loves Russia and he loves Putin. So there is that, and that's lovely, isn't it? So I am going to demonstrate that to you. Not that it's surprising by any means, but still.
Ukraine and Russia. I haven't really seen so much of that in the news. I'm, of course, pro-Putin. I'm very pro-Russia.
I am also.
Let's go. Yeah. You see that this is just an extension of the United States neocon establishment, New World Order type stuff. That's what they want.
This is the future president you're talking to right now.
Is Nick your running mate?
He's not old enough. What does Putin say about America's value system?
So he said in a speech when he annexed those two breakaway provinces and he annexed the Donbass, he said in a speech that we have totally abandoned traditional values, traditional faith, and that we've actually embraced full-on Satanism. And he's totally right. And
well, it's true. America's embracing Satanism. Say, like, you like the uniforms, but that's about it. There's a lot of things that I love about Hitler. A lot of things. Hey, I'm tired of hearing I'm a Nazi. Because I'm not. But I think by them falsely accusing people, some people are going to become Nazis.
I am. Now what? I am.
You're
now
what?
Now I'm a Nazi, Ari Emanuel. Isn't that?
First of all, I want to say the amount of self-hate that this man must have to himself is incredible, because I'm like, no self-respecting person would say that about themselves, especially if they would be one of the first targets of the said group of people. I have no words, honestly. I have no words. Also, I do, like, a lot of people will say that, Kanye is bipolar, which he is diagnosed, apparently, and that he's just not in his right mind and he's not taking medication and stuff like that. But yeah, but that has been a thing forever. And like, just because he might have an underlying mental health issue doesn't excuse him from being a piece of, and not taking care of it and going so public with it, with these thoughts, knowing how much damage it'll cause because of how much influence he has or had. It's incredibly disturbing. It's incredibly disturbing. And also, let me see, because I need to. There was a video from Bakhmut that someone on Twitch was going to send me into my whispers. So let me try and log into Twitch so I can retrieve it. But for some reason, why is it not working? Come on. I just want to retrieve it from my DMs. Also, I just bit my lip while. So I accidentally bit my lip while we weren't talking. So let me copy. So I'm sorry if it's profusely bleeding. I'm very like, it's a normal thing for me that happens all the time. I don't know why I'm so clumsy in that regard, but it is what it is. Okay, so I think I found it. Let me look it up. Okay, so unfortunately, I have to be a member of the group in order to access this message, and for some reason I can't sign up for this group, so I can't see that video. I'm sorry. Okay, US agrees with Middle East countries to transfer NASAMS systems to Ukraine, according to Politico. The goal is to send advanced anti-aircraft missile systems to Ukraine within the next 3 to 6 months. IAEA head says solution on Zaporizhzhia NPP safety may be found by the end of the year. Не знаю, написано, що я не можу. Vice President of the European Commission, Vera Jourova, warned billionaire Elon Musk against allowing Putin's propaganda on Twitter. She noted that Musk should not underestimate the EU and the significant sanctions that Twitter may face if it does not comply with EU rules. Which I'm so happy that someone said it, because I think that Musk has this sense of like untouchability and invincibility because he's never been punished for anything he's done because he's a billionaire, you know? And that's what happens to billionaires. They get away with most things scot-free. And it's good to see the EU issuing a warning so specifically and so forwardly. Because let me remind you that a couple of days ago, Musk said that he's not going to block Russian state media channels from Twitter. In no way is he going to do that. And he's not going to do that on Starlink. He's not going to block Russian state media channels on Starlink. Ukrainian embassies in Hungary, the Netherlands, Poland, Croatia, Italy, Naples, Krakow, and Brno received bloody packages containing animal eyes. This was reported by the Ministry of Foreign Affairs of Ukraine on December 2nd. The packages themselves were soaked in a liquid of a characteristic color and had a corresponding smell. The Foreign Ministry is studying the meaning of this message. In the far east of Russia, in the Primorsky territory, a MiG-31 fighter interceptor crashed. The press service of Eastern Military District of Russia confirmed the crash of the fighter, specifying that the plane crashed in a deserted place. According to preliminary information, the cause of the accident could be a technical malfunction. So here is something very interesting. So there are videos on TikTok, and we all know this, that go way against all the TikTok community guidelines, but yet somehow they still stay on. So there is basically a firm coming out of New York called NewsGuard that did a very interesting investigation on the matter. And here is what they found. Some of you are going to be surprised. Some of you are not going to be surprised. But surprised or not, that's very disturbing, needs to be addressed. And TikTok, do better. Advertising Wagner PMC leaked in TikTok, and combined, those advertisements have 1 billion views. NewsGuard, a New York-based firm that studies and tracks disinformation, has found that hundreds of videos glorifying Russian mercenaries from the Wagner PMC have been posted on TikTok, although the platform's rules prohibit violent videos. The videos with the Wagner men have been viewed more than 1 billion times combined. Analysts found 160 videos on TikTok depicting or alluding to violence committed by the militias of the private Russian company Wagner. And those videos are not being taken down. Of course, if so many people have seen them, then multiple Ukrainians have seen those videos, multiple people in the West have seen those videos, multiple people have reported them, and obviously they weren't taken down, so they didn't violate any community guidelines, but these videos incite violence. And then someone like me is going to say Russia is a terrorist state, and TikTok is going to take it down for hate speech. Meanwhile, Russia has been officially recognized as a terrorist state, so this is a fact, not fiction. The occupation authorities of the Kherson region announced the evacuation of bedridden and less mobile citizens from Kakhovka. Thank you, user 70997. Also, thank you so much. I really do appreciate all of the gifts, and they go a very, very, very long way. Thank you so much. Okay, let me see, because apparently there is another video that I just received from Telegram that's from Bakhmut. So let me try and get it, because I would like to show it to you. But yes, what I was saying is that you guys have no idea. These go a very, very long way. So I do appreciate every single gift, and I do really appreciate you caring. Okay, so I did find view in channel open. Okay. All right, so I did find the videos, and this is the situation in Bakhmut, a frontline city in Ukraine that I was talking about just recently in my Sunday news brief. And I was telling you that everybody who has gone there has said that Bakhmut is real hell on earth, because there are so many injuries happening in Bakhmut. 48 hours, about 500 soldiers of the armed forces of Ukraine get injured. It is a bloodbath. The conditions are treacherous. It's incredibly, incredibly hard to, it's incredibly hard to like conduct warfare there, because it's wet, it's cold, it's muddy. The conditions are just awful. I'm sure you've seen numerous videos, and if you haven't, watch my Sunday news brief of Ukrainian armed forces servicemen taking off their boots, and the boots are soaked in mud. So here is what Bakhmut looks like today. This is aerial view of the destruction in Bakhmut. There is more. Hi, Truthful. Bakhmut. Привіт, Львів, я також зі Львова. Донбас. Привіт, Херсон. Привіт. Дуже приємно. So this looks just like Mariupol. And you know, the interesting thing is that there was just a troll that came in and said, Mariupol is 20% rebuilt, looks amazing. Well, first of all, no one would have to rebuild Mariupol if Russians didn't come in and ruined it. Second of all, no, it isn't 20% rebuilt, and no, it doesn't look amazing. There are incredibly large, long lines for heaters. Those heaters that Natasha from Russia brought with her little comrades from the Russian government actually are only being given out to people who have previously registered with the Russian authorities, which means either received a Russian passport or are now being or now have the tracking from the Russian government. And a lot of people don't want to do that. A lot of people don't want to be on the list from the Russian government. A lot of people don't want to have anything to do with Russia because Russia came and ruined their homes and families. And it's not uncanny that they don't want to receive Russian documentation. So yeah, obviously these heaters are not just there for the people who need them. They're there for the people who want to collaborate and for the people who want to get a Russian passport. An explosion was recorded in Dnipro. Germany plans to transfer 7 Gepard units to Ukraine in spring, according to Der Spiegel. 7 units were planned to be disposed of, but now they're being repaired by the Munich company KMW and should be delivered to Ukraine in the spring. In Brno, Czech Republic, police surrounded the Ukrainian consulate because of a parcel. An explosive device was found in the parcel. The police are working at the scene. A kindergarten located next to the consulate was also evacuated. Thank you, Diane. Welcome to the membership to the channel. Thank you so much. I really appreciate it. Also, guys, quickly recap for those of you who are new. Hi, my name is Yulia. I was born and raised in Lviv, Ukraine, and I have been living in New York for the past 12 years. I moved here when I was 16 years old, and I went here for school, and then life happened, and I ended up staying. So I've been living in New York for the past 12 years. My all immediate family that I talk to every day lives in Lviv, Ukraine. To this day, I'm the only one who lives in the United States. On this channel, every day, we do a news breakdown of everything that happened in and pertaining to Ukraine in the past 24 hours, break it down, dissect it, and give it political, historical, cultural, and otherwise context. This stream is right now airing on 4 different platforms at the same time, which is Twitch, Twitter, TikTok, and YouTube. Twitter for now. Oh my gosh, thank you so much. Thank you, Raspberry. And on TikTok, there are these very cute animation gifts. So they're so pretty. And sometimes I just go crazy when I see them. So thank you very much. I really appreciate those. They do really help and really go a very long way. And also they're very, very pretty. But so yes, this stream is airing on 4 different platforms at the same time. My handle is the same across all of them. It's YEWLEEA. So if you want to switch from one platform to another, you're welcome to. I am going to say that I would really encourage you to please find me on YouTube and sign up for my YouTube, because I will be posting a lot more longer form videos on YouTube. I do brief news summaries every Wednesday and every Sunday, where you get all the news for the past 24 hours and everything important that happened that week in under 20 minutes. And I will also be introducing 3 more new segments. And I also have interviews with Ukrainian defenders on YouTube as well. So if you want to support my YouTube, please come and sign up and follow me. And don't forget to comment and like videos, because every comment and like goes a very long way. And I really need some affection on that platform, because it goes a very long way. And thank you, Alex. Oh my gosh, that's such a cute little cat. I don't think I've ever seen that one. Thank you. Okay, servicemen accuse. So this is a big story. This is a big story, and it's very controversial. There are 2 publications that have done a story on this matter, and 2 of them basically have said the exact opposite thing. The one publication is Kyiv Independent. The other publication is Kyiv Post. Now, before we say anything, thank you, Truthful, I want to point out that Kyiv Post is the original Kyiv Independent. A lot of the staff from the Kyiv Independent from the Kyiv Post quit and organized Kyiv Independent, because they said that there were a lot of restrictions on journalism and Kyiv Post wasn't conducting honest journalism. So Kyiv Independent is an independent publication of former people who worked at the Kyiv Post. So here is the article that the Kyiv Independent published. Servicemen accuse some commanders of the Foreign Legion of misappropriation of weapons, theft of personal ammunitions, and threats of physical violence. The relevant investigation was published by the Kyiv Independent. The legionnaires report the disappearance of weapons, in particular those provided to Ukraine by Western partners and associated with the illegal actions of their commanders, whom they also accuse of stealing personal equipment and other things. I'm going to put a link to this article in the description of the channel right now of this video. So, дякую, привіт. I'm going to put this link in the description to this video right now, so you guys can read the full article if you want to. But basically, the Kyiv Independent is alleging that in the Foreign Legion there is a lot of corruption going on. And then the Kyiv Post came out with their own investigation and with an interview basically saying that that is not true. And one publication says that it is, and the other publication says that it is wrong and it is not true. But I really don't know. I haven't deep dived into this enough to give you my opinion. The only thing I do know is that I personally prefer Kyiv Independent over Kyiv Post. A lot of Ukrainians do. We don't necessarily trust Kyiv Post anymore, but I'm going to dive deeper into this story, and I'm going to try and do some digging for you guys so I can give you my opinion, because for now, I don't think I can comfortably give you an opinion. The Polish parliament has not adopted a decision to recognize Russia as a state sponsor of terrorism. It happened because the liberal opposition blocked the amendment to the document introduced by the ruling party Prawo I Sprawiedliwość, Law and Justice, according to which Russia is guilty of the plane crash near Smolensk in 2010, where the then Polish president Lech Kaczynski died. So there was a plane crash in Smolensk, and Lech Kaczynski, the Polish president at the time, died in that plane crash. And the allegations are such that Russia was responsible for it. At night, Russian troops hit a 5-story residential building in the village of Klugino-Boshkirivka in Kharkiv region with an S-300 missile. A 67-year-old woman was injured. She was hospitalized. The patient will continue treatment on an outpatient basis. Another 24-year-old woman was helped on the spot. There are partial destructions of the house. Дякую. European Commission said Serbia must not only carry out reforms but also impose sanctions against Russia to join the EU. Serbia is incredibly pro-Russian, and it's not just the government. Serbian people are also incredibly pro-Russian, and Serbians have been wanting to join the European Union, but also they have a conflict with Kosovo, and they're basically doing to Kosovo what Russia is trying to do with the rest of the post-Soviet countries, where they don't recognize them as a separate entity. They don't grant them rights, and they basically want to annex Kosovo. So there are a lot of conflicts going on there, and Serbia technically doesn't qualify for an EU membership, which is why they need to have reforms and why they have to stop the conflict with Kosovo. Oh, here you go. See, a Serb who says Kosovo is Serbia. And basically, Serbian people are incredibly pro-Russian, which is very unfortunate, and they very often share the same ideas as Russians do, and they very often think that the genocide of Ukrainians conducted by Russia is justified. Losses of the Russian occupiers in Ukraine as of today amount to 90,090 personnel. Pyrotechnics of the State Emergency Service of Mykolaiv region found an owl with a broken wing while clearing the territory from the consequences of the armed aggression of the Russian Federation. Now the bird is in good hands. Mr. Dmitro, a specialist who knows about birds, kindly agreed to keep an eye on it until it recovers. Look at this. So adorable. This one is an interesting bit. I was kind of like giggling when I read that, but so Hungary will continue to block 18 billion. Oh my gosh. Thank you, Queen. Oh my God. Thank you so much. That was so sweet. Thank you, Queen. Queen to Miri. I like that. Thank you so much. Okay, Hungary will continue to block 18 billion aid to Ukraine, according to Prime Minister Orban. We do not support taking a general EU loan for this purpose because we do not want the EU to turn into a community of states that have common debts. The Prime Minister was quoted as saying, "It's funny you say that, Viktor Orban, because Hungary is the second poorest country in the EU that requires the majority of the EU financial support and brings the least into the EU with its GDP and stuff. And Hungary just got their financial support frozen because of the issues with following the rule of law and their Russia support and stuff. So it's very funny that you are so concerned about turning it into the community of states that have common debts, because if Viktor Orban is so concerned about that, then maybe he should start thinking about how to uplift the economy of his own country so it doesn't need so much support from the EU. But realistically, he is doing this basically as a petty thing because the EU doesn't want to grant Hungary all this money while Hungary is doing all the things that go against EU policies. Also, if someone requests to be on the live, I'm not going to accept that request unless you tell me what you want to talk about, because I do get a lot of trolls. I also do get a lot of people that just want to chat about random things, and I fully understand that. I appreciate that you guys want to talk to me, but at the same time, I do need to do the news, and if it's not relevant, then I'm sorry, but I'm trying to get through the news, and that's what's important at the end of the day. So if you want to be a guest on the stream, you have to let me know what you want to talk about. I'm not going to accept you otherwise, because I'm sorry, I've had way too many trolls. And also because, yeah, some people just want to chat and blabber and ponder, and it just doesn't fit with what we're doing here. The Embassy of Ukraine in Spain also received a bloody package, and that's after they received an envelope with an explosive. Specialists are working at the scene. It is similar to those that were previously received in other Ukrainian diplomatic institutions. Spanish police surrounded the perimeter of the embassy for security reasons. Specialists are already working at the scene. Investigative actions are underway. Hi, Sophia. Hi, Loyalty. And hi, Antelope. Hi, Kathleen. Good to see you. In Hostomel, Banksy graffiti was cut off along with a piece of the wall. The head of the Kyiv region police, Andriy Nebytov, said that 8 people, 1 woman and 7 men, were found at the scene who tried to take the drawing away. They thought that the house would be demolished and the drawing would be lost. The detainees are aged 27 to 60 years old. They are residents of Kyiv and Cherkasy. So I guess their alibi is that they thought that this house would be demolished, and basically the graffiti would be lost in the demolition. But I mean, that's a very good excuse, to be honest, because I feel like they were just like, well, we're gonna steal this and sell this, and then they get caught and they're like, we just thought that it would be demolished and we wanted to save the artwork. But you never know. Maybe they are just very forward-thinking, sweet people, you know. Who am I to say anything? Spain has handed over the first Hawk anti-aircraft missile system to Ukraine, Defense Minister Alexei Reznikov said. Christoph Heusgen, former advisor to Angela Merkel, head of the Munich Security Conference, this one's interesting, said that if Ukraine is able to return Crimea by military means, that should be supported. And I support that message. Crimea is definitely a part of Ukraine, he said, and Ukraine has every right to regain and return its territory. Therefore, the decision should be made by Ukraine, Christoph Heusgen said in an interview for Deutsche Welle. It's big that, you know, a high postulated German figure would say that. It is incredibly big and it is incredibly meaningful. And I'm very happy that he did do that, because that just sends a very strong message to Russia. And it also sends a very strong message to the world that Ukraine has all the right to take Crimea back militarily if push comes to shove, because at the end of the day, it is our territory and we have to regain it in whatever way that is available to us. And we are obviously going to do everything possible for it to be as seamless and as non-invasive as possible. But, you know, military experts believe that Russia planned to invade Ukraine in 10 days. But this plan failed due to excessive secrecy and poor training of the Russians, a study by the British Royal United Services Institute. By maintaining secrecy, the Russian armed forces gained the advantage of surprise at the operational level, but at the tactical level, the Ukrainian armed forces better understood what to do because they had been preparing to repel the Russian army's offensive for 8 years, says the study. Also, oh my God. Give me 1 second. First off, I'm going to take the link to this study, and I'm going to copy it, and I'm going to post it in the description of the video. But also, let me pick up my dog and bring her over because she's going crazy. 1 second, war study. Oh man, my dog is in heat. And I'm surprised that she sat through this entire news stream without going crazy, because normally if I don't pay attention to her every second of my existence, she becomes incredibly upset. But 1 second. Yes, toddler is crying. Also, this is a dog noise for any of you who might have been, confused. This is a dog noise, just FYI. So this is a PDF, so I might not be able to just simply publish it here. I will have to do this after the stream is over, but I will publish it. Okay, give me 1 second. I thought she was snoring. No, this is not snoring. This is her going, this is what happens when you have a French bulldog. Also, if I could only, you know what? I think I actually can show you. I'm going to show you this because this is kind of hilarious. So this is my dog. Wait. I'm going to show it to you on YouTube. So this is my dog. See the little ears over there, right? Look, she's laying there. I'm going to take TikTok with me. So here's Cindy. First of all, she's wearing a diaper and she hates it. But she's like laying over here like this. She is like fully smothered in pillows. And when I look at her, okay, this is the dog. This is what it looks like. and and she's just like making these super upset noises as she's just like laying in bed comfortably, and with her like face like smushed like this, and I'm just like, lady, you are Cindy. No. Cindy. Okay, well, see, now I have to. Sin. No. Hey. Okay, well, if you want to do that, then you get it down. Come on, down. Go to your bed. You have a bed. Sin. Oh my gosh. Okay, well, this is going to be fun now because my dog has climbed out of her diaper and I can't let her go on any surface because she's in heat. But, okay, well, we're going to continue with the news. But I might need to get distracted every once in a while to, make sure that my dog is not painting half of my apartment a color that I don't like. Okay. Employees of the Russian TV channel Dozhd should return to Russia and their residence permits should be revoked, Latvian Defense Minister Artis Pabriks said. TV Rain is a Russian-language independent television channel. It was launched in 2010 in Russia and since 2022 is based in Latvia. Russian media write that the Russian Federation is ready to leave the territory of ZNPP and transfer the station either to the Ukrainian authorities or to the IAEA. In exchange, they want uninterrupted transit of oil and gas through Ukraine. Of course, they would blackmail with that. At the same time, Russians are not going to leave Zaporizhzhia region completely. The press secretary of the Russian president, Dmitry Peskov, in a comment for Meduza, rejected the possibility of such deal. Ukraine received the first 1.5 billion grant from the United States. The funds will be used to provide pension payments and social assistance. The Kyiv Cave Monastery was registered as a monastery within the Orthodox Church of Ukraine. Metropolitan Epiphany of Kyiv and all Ukraine will head the monastery as a legal entity. Ex officio, he is a holy archimandrite, that is, the canonical and spiritual leader of the Kyiv Lavra, the OCU noted. Before that, one of the most famous churches in Ukraine was part of the Ukraine Orthodox Church of the Moscow Patriarchate. But Russian Patriarchate is about to get banned in Ukraine. Well, because first of all, they preach the genocide of Ukrainians and lots of Russian propaganda. So there is no reason for which they should exist in Ukraine, period. This was found by the Security Service of Ukraine during another search in the Ukrainian Orthodox Church of the Moscow Patriarchy. So this says chachol, okay, in swastikas. This says chachol, derogatory slur for Ukrainian, in swastikas. Kyiv Melitopol is longing for you. Okay. The essence of the message is unclear. However, we focus on the stylized swastika in the word chachol, a derogatory name for a Ukrainian used at the household level among Russians. It's the N-word for Ukrainians. Sini. Oh my gosh. Mikoyansky meat processing plant is on fire in Moscow. Take a look. Moscow has had a lot, Russia has had a lot of things set on fire this week. It was first in like Chelyabinsk, then it was in Bryansk, then in Perm, then in Volgograd, then in Moscow and St. Petersburg. There have been fires everywhere. But the funny thing is that it's always like a meat processing plant, a plastic warehouse. To me, I think that those were ammunition depots. Those probably were repurposed for ammunition depots because that just would make sense. Armin's quote of the day is up, and so I am going to read it. John Ruskin warned, in general, pride is at the bottom of all great mistakes. Russians assume that they're strong and destined to win. People who make such assumptions are actually destined to lose. And I completely agree with that. And to someone who is saying, дуже гарно вимовляю українські та російські слова, це тому, що я українка, і це тому, що українка я маленька, з України та тоненька. Я також з України. Я там народилася і виросла. У Львові. Russia launches dummy missiles to deplete Ukraine's air defense. Russia launched these to deplete our air defense. So literally dummy missiles. Explosions were reported in Zaporizhia. Also, hi, Adele. Maxar satellite imagery has shown that in recent months, Russia has significantly expanded graves in the main cemetery of occupied Mariupol Starokrimsky. For comparison, images from 29th of March compared to 30th of November 2022. Here are the Maxar satellites. That is incredibly unfortunate. Cindy, please stop. Tkachenko denied the transfer of the Lavra, just registered a new name of the monastery as part of the OCU. According to the Minister of Culture and Information Policy, the Kyiv-Pechersk Lavra is not going to be transferred anywhere. The name and address of the monastery, which belongs to the OCU and is located on the territory of the Upper Lavra, have been changed. Hi, Curtis. See, that's so strange because I see people when they have these like diamond blue things, I see when you join. U.S. State Department adds Russia and PMC Wagner to the list of countries and organizations that violate religious rights and freedoms. About time. Meanwhile, Russian media write, Buryat shamans sent yurts to participate of a special military operation to protect them from shelling by the HIMARS. That's not gonna protect you. That's not gonna protect you from HIMARS, but keep going. The village of Chernobyevka is a symbol of Ukrainian invincibility. It is located 10 kilometers from Kherson. It was here at the military airfield in Chernobyevka that the armed forces of Ukraine defeated and destroyed Russian equipment and troops 26 times. The battles for Chernobyevka lasted from February 27, 2022 to November 11, 2022. After the liberation of Kherson, the world finally saw the village with a deserted airport, lonely puppies, and a pile of broken Russian equipment. So Chernobyevka is that place where we kept saying, like, you know, Chernobyevka 1, Russia 0, Chernobyevka 12, Russia 0, because they needed an airport. They needed an air base. And they kept trying to take Chernobyevka because they took Kherson. But they couldn't stay there because every time they would bring equipment there, Ukrainians would be destroying it like numerous times. So this is what Chernobyevka looks like. Look at these little baby puppies. Oh my God. Cindy. Hey, babes, stop it, please. Thank you. Thank you, Frank. And thank you, Antelope. Also, for anybody unaware, I'm fully aware that I'm saying antelope wrong, but I'm going to do this again because, you know, the person with the handle actually, I think, finds it very funny. But I'm going to explain exactly why. I think that this says, God is with us, and Ottoman Zaluzhny. So Ottoman is like, is basically like a leader of an army, right? And Zaluzhny is the general of the Ukrainian armed forces. But so the reason why I say antelope, not antelope, is because to me, antelope, okay, sounds like an orangutan, but antelope sounds like a you know, a graceful creature. So like I wouldn't want to be an antelope. I would want to be an antelope, okay? And also I found out recently that, you know, that I also prefer microbe to microbe. And if, you know, if you consider, you know, if you want Adobe to be Adobe and Nike to be Nike, then you got to deal with antelope and microbe, okay? And this is I'm coining those words, and that's what I'm gonna say. And I don't care, because you know what is a microbe? Microbe is cute. Microbe is like, you know, microbe is like I would be scared. Microbe is like, oh, you know, you're a little sick. Antelope is sophisticated. Antelope, you know, no. Mm-mm. I put my foot down. It's just what it is. Okay, let's see what Kyiv Independent has to say, and we'll summarize everything that we heard today and maybe learn some new information. Wow, Kyiv Independent actually has a lot of updates today. Okay, Politico says US might shift air defense systems from Middle East to Ukraine. General Staff says Ukraine's military repels Russian advances near 14 settlements in Donetsk and Luhansk regions. UK Defense Ministry says Russia's munitions shortage limits its potential to continue offensive operations. 3 civilians were unalived in Kherson Oblast as Russia attacked 7 Ukrainian regions over the past day. Pentagon awards $430 million contract for production of additional HIMARS. Zelensky approves sanctions against priests cooperating with Russia as SBU raids on churches continue. Explosions were heard in Dnipro. Foreign Ministry said Ukrainian embassies, consulates, and 7 countries receive blood-stained parcels. We went over that today. That is so disturbing. Oh my gosh. Thank you, Netlin. I love those hot air balloons. Thank you so much. Russia's proxies in Kherson Oblast announced displacement of people with disabilities. So yeah, there is this investigation into International Legion soldiers that alleges that light weapons were misappropriated and there was abuse by commanders. Again, there is an investigation by Kyiv Independent that says that this is true, and then there is an investigation by the Kyiv Post that says it isn't true. I can't comment yet because I did not do enough research, so I will comment tomorrow instead. Oh my gosh. Wait, what happened? What just happened? Sorry. Our first year as the Kyiv Independent, we've worked hard to bring you on the ground, reporting on Russia's brutal war against Ukraine, which has only been possible with the support of our readers. So this is going to be a video about everything that the Kyiv Independent has talked about and done so far. And I'm going to show you this video. I personally, and a lot of Ukrainians, prefer Kyiv Independent to Kyiv Post because Kyiv Independent, as I said, is comprised of journalists that quit Kyiv Post due to journalistic freedom and honest like restriction, basically. So I am inclined to say that the Kyiv Independent likely is a more trustworthy source than the Kyiv Post, but again, I haven't done enough research to say for sure, so I will not. Actually, in fact, please scratch what I just said because I feel like that does show some bias, as in, like, you know, I am telling you what I'm leaning towards, but again, I haven't done research, so please don't think that the Kyiv Post's investigation is not legitimate. I do need to do research, and it's silly to side with one publication just because you've known them to be accurate before. So yeah, I need to do more research before I can even comment on anything.
Kyiv Independent is in the city of Kharkiv. An hour ago, the city has been heavily shelled from artillery.
Here in Borodyanka, many buildings look like this. A month of Russian occupation left the city devastated.
So yeah, this is what they did to our beautiful plane.
And now the investigation has begun for war crimes.
Here in Novosiliivka, a suburb of Chernihiv, where practically every house was destroyed.
The Kyiv Independent has a small favor to ask. Please do consider becoming our patron to support independent journalism in Ukraine and to allow us to go on such trips like the one to Kharkiv to report to you the first-hand information on what's happening on the ground.
So I did want to show you the places where they went. I do kind of find it, and I understand why they do it, and I fully support it because they do need funding. But in every one of their videos, they have like, become our patron. And I don't know, I don't do this enough. Like, I do have a Patreon. I do have, Cindy, down. I love you, down. I do have a Patreon. I do now have subscriptions on TikTok, like the channel membership, channel membership on YouTube. I do have like a subscription feature on TikTok, but I feel very bad. One second, let me let my dog out. 1 second. Signor, please don't be. And like, I know that most people who are independent journalists who like survive on this, right, at this point, which is me too, they're always like, oh, hey, don't forget to sign up. Or like, oh, don't forget to, don't forget to, gifts are appreciated and this is appreciated and donations are appreciated. Of course, they're appreciated. And I see a lot of publications doing it very much in your face, and I feel bad for doing it. So I feel like anytime I see when the Kyiv Independent ends every video with like, hey, become our patron, hey, subscribe, hey, do this, I'm like, my gosh, this is so annoying. And I like feel bad, I feel secondhand embarrassment because I'm showing you the video of this, and then I'm like, oh, I didn't like pause this fast enough before this like, hey, give money to us thing came up. But I'm really sorry. It's just that like, I don't know, I think it's a normal practice because like all of these publications are independent and they do rely on support like that, and so do I, but at this point. But at the same time, like, I don't know, I just don't feel comfortable with like all of these super incredibly like in your face, like, hey, please support me statements. But okay, Der Spiegel says Germany to provide Ukraine with 7 more Gepard tanks to take pressure off debate on Patriot. According to Der Spiegel, the tanks intended for Ukraine had been initially destined for scrapping. Fantastic. Police detain people suspected of stealing Banksy graffiti in Kyiv Oblast. Also, Heroyam Slava and thanks for supporting Ukraine. Well, I am from Ukraine. I'm Ukrainian born and raised, so there is no other way. Foreign Ministry, Ukraine's embassy in Spain also receives blood-stained parcels. IAEA hopes for deal on demilitarized zone around Zaporizhzhia nuclear power plant by the end of 2022. EU makes final decision to cap Russian seaborne oil prices at $60 per barrel. Minister says Ukraine receives Hawk air defense systems from Spain. Ukraine receives $1.5 billion in budget support from US. Ministry worsens Ukraine's GDP forecast amid Russian attacks on energy infrastructure. It is expected to drop as much as 32 to 33.5% this year due to Russian missile strikes on energy infrastructure. A short explainer on the EU's final decision to cap Russian seaborne oil prices at $60 a barrel. The decision envisages an adjustment mechanism to keep the cap at 5% below the market price. An embargo on Russian seaborne oil approved by the EU in June will take effect on December 5th. Since, thank you, Loyalty. Oh my gosh, those beavers are very cute. Since Russian seaborne oil will be banned from EU countries, the price cap is a measure intended mostly for non-EU countries. Insurers for the oil market, which are mostly based in Europe, will be banned from dealing with Russian oil priced above the cap. Belarusian oppositions creates free digital state. Belarusian software developers Pavel Liber and Yaroslav Likachevsky announced the launch of the Digital Belarus project on December 2nd. On this online platform, Belarusians, both those who reside in the country or abroad, can unite, search for jobs, arrange projects, and make joint decisions. Government merges regional development infrastructure ministries. The Cabinet of Ministers on December 2nd approved merging the infrastructure ministry with the Ministry for the Development of Communities and Territories. Alexander Kubrakov, the Deputy Prime Minister for Ukraine's reconstruction, will be in charge of the new body. Governor says Russia attacks border settlements in Sumy Oblast 76 times on December 2nd. Zelensky approves proposal to ban Moscow-backed church and sanctions bishops. Multiple Ukrainian embassies received blood-stained parcels with animal parts in them. Satellite images show main cemetery in Mariupol grow significantly. Ukraine's ambassador to Vatican says his house was vandalized. The door to the apartment and the stairs and walls in the entryway were smeared with a dirty substance with unpleasant smell, and he said he believed it to be animal feces. Canada expends sanctions against Iran over the drones. And that is all I have for today. Armin, I read your quote of the day. Звичайно, що українка. Armin, I read your quote of the day earlier. Did you change anything in it? Warned in general, pride is in the bottom of all great mistakes. Russians assume that they're strong and destined to win. People who make such assumptions are actually destined to lose. Yeah, I think it's the same one that I read a little earlier. Yeah. Hi, Sandra. Good to see you. Yeah, so that is all I have for you for today. Let me know if you have any questions, suggestions, or anything. For anybody who's new and just finding my channel, let me remind you that hi, my name is Yulia. Hi, my name is Yulia. I was born and raised in Ukraine, Lviv, and I came to the United States 12 years ago at the age of 16. My entire family lives in Ukraine. I'm the only one in the United States, and I've been living in New York for 12 years, so ever since I got here. And on this channel, every day, we do the news for the past 24 hours coming out of and pertaining to Ukraine. And we dissect them, break them down, give them political, geopolitical, historical, and otherwise context. And it's streamed on 4 platforms simultaneously. It's TikTok, Twitch, YouTube, and for now, Twitter. My handle is the same across the board if you want to find me on either one of these social networks. And I highly recommend, please do find and follow me on YouTube, because there is a lot more there than anywhere else. Well, TikTok too, because I do have short videos every day, multiple times, and they are either historical or relevant to current events. And on YouTube, I have news summaries on Wednesdays and Sundays that are under 20 minutes that summarize everything that happened in the past 24 hours and everything relevant that happened that week. And also I will be adding 3 more new segments. And along with that, I also have interviews with Ukrainian defenders that are dubbed with English voiceover for your convenience, so you can watch them on the go. Thank you very much. All of your gifts are so very appreciated. Also, thank you to my 3 YouTube channel members, Crazy Cat, then it was Diane, and it's Jason. Thank you so much for signing up for the YouTube membership. I was granted that privilege today, and I'm going to be working on new emojis. But if you sign up for the YouTube membership to the channel, then you can send Cine emojis. And I will be adding Yi emojis and Slava Ukraini emojis and some specifically designed for YouTube emojis too. So yeah, and you guys let me know how I can improve things for you, so you can so you can get more information more efficiently, and so you can so I can be of more use to you. So thank you very much for watching. Oh yes, those are now on YouTube too, the little cines. And thank you so much, guys, for watching. Thank you for staying with me for today. It was 2 hours and 7 minutes. Woohoo! And I will be recording some new videos, some new short explainers for TikTok today. And I shall see you. Oh, the book list. The book list. So Veronica is asking, are you finished with the book list yet? No, but I will be finished with it today, and I will put out an Amazon book list in my link in bio of books about Ukrainian history that I think are good and you guys would enjoy if you want to learn more. So thank you guys for staying with the news. And if it wasn't for you, I wouldn't have this platform and I wouldn't be able to reach so many people. So thank you very much. I really appreciate you. And hi, Jeremy. And I will see you tomorrow. Bye, guys. Bye. Oh, yeah, it posted. Okay. Thank you, Armin. I just wanted to make sure that I didn't miss anything. And hi, Jeremy. Bye, guys. Good night. I will